he said I couldn't have a rocking chair. Guess what I got? Made the rocking chair. I don't know.
Okay.
Leave me alone. What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. I am one of your hosts, David, and we're coming at you from our studio here in the heart of, we're in the middle of a heat wave, Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily, only on the weekdays, except sometimes we randomly live stream live shows. Before we get into the content, quick disclaimer, nothing that's said on this channel should be taken as financial advice, so please, as always, do your own research. Speaking of content, today we're talking about the White House releases their official crypto report. Will there be a ban on proof of work mining? We'll talk about that. Also, Coinbase funds the lawsuit against the U.S. Treasury Department in regards to Tornado Cash. And finally, Jerome Powell speaks at the Cato Conference. And we do have a very special guest today joining us in about 10 minutes. With that being said, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, and the stale information, and we elbow drop it off the top rope.
Yeah.
And if it's your first time checking us out, do us a favor. Subscribe. You ain't even gotta, we ain't asking, we telling you, subscribe. And then if you don't like us, you can unsubscribe later, which we had several people unsubscribe yesterday. Apparently they did not like any of our videos we uploaded. But do us a favor. Hit the like button. That's right. You like my like button sign, David?
I do.
You know how much you love it.
Someone said the Queen died?
What? Stop.
Under medical supervision.
Yeah, she's in the hospital. She ain't feeling good.
All right.
All right. So also notification bell. Get that thing going so you don't miss any of our content.
Today, before we start, today's a very special day. Looks like we have a couple birthdays. Crypto Yogurt, I believe yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday. Also, if you are a member of the channel, when you watched the video I did, you met my kids, and today is one of their birthdays. I'd like to give a special birthday shout out to my little man, Liam, the smart one of the group, the future blockchain coder developer. I know he's in here. He was in the chat talking. So, son, I love you. Happy birthday. Yeah. Also, Crypto Yogurt, happy belated birthday.
I like how you came in and didn't know what day of the week it was. But you know what day it is today?
What's the day?
It's a great day.
Why?
Today starts the NFL. The first game, bro.
You're right.
Today, the NFL season starts off, which your boy got the Raiders shirt on.
They're not
How
even
you
playing
doing?
today.
What's that?
They're not even playing today. All right, would you
I
start?
know they're not playing today.
Robin, would you start Matthew Stafford tonight?
I haven't been so busy with crypto and this show. I literally have not watched
You know who
anything
Matt Stafford is?
sport. Yes,
Matt Stafford or Derek Carr?
Stafford.
And you're a Raiders fan?
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr, he's playing on the road. They are playing the Chargers in LA.
Yeah. Stafford, though. Stafford's playing the Bills, bro.
All right. So real quick, roll call. All right. So getting into first in the chat, Marky Mark. Round of applause for Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
And then we got Jimmy, and let's see here. Jimmy, we got Brokey Yoshi, Jason, Robert Salazar, K Factor. Did I say Brokey Yoshi? And then we got somebody new in here, Chasing Candles.
Ooh.
Hola!
Don't
Welcome.
go chasing those candles.
Okay,
And then we
pass.
got, please. It is too early for that.
Well, we have a question from KFactor21. He wants to know if Bitcoin is going to eat 13K or I'm going to eat a barbecue pizza first.
It looks like you got to answer that question, Rocco.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know. Dave,
He doesn't
you tell
know.
me. Tell me. You tell me.
All right. And then
If it was up to me, you'd be eating barbecue chicken
we
pizza right
got
now.
R.A. Daniel. Back to my roll call. Thank you. We got R.A. Daniel, Cito, Tiffany. How do you say this last name?
Don't worry about it. It's actually my son. He's in the chat.
Okay. And then we got Noel. Oh, thank God for Noel. In the house. Hola! And then lastly, HP Yazin, Bullish Kenny G, B Chat, and Crit Cat Redman rounds it out. If I missed you, say I missed you, and I'll just give you a shout out later. If you're new in the chat, say hello, so that way we can drop a hola on your face. And then
No, but sorry,
Canola
I gotta
on your
interrupt
face.
you 1 second.
What's that?
How is possible that your son doesn't like barbecue sauce pizza?
He does. Did
No,
he say
no.
he doesn't?
He say, I don't like barbecue pizza. It's right there.
Oh yeah, he's the listen.
Sorry.
He's the pickiest. He's the pickiest eater, bro. He is.
Well,
And he's also 8.
no. It's
And
good.
if you
He
guys
knows
are
what he's
wondering
doing.
about David's eating habits, he's literally like the
Doritos and
dumpster
yogurt.
behind the fast food, behind the food court.
Where
There's
there's
just nothing but
degrees.
like sandwiches and pizzas. And like,
For the new people, they don't know what we're talking about.
You leave my
Yeah.
sandwiches and
we
pizza
will
out of
talk
this.
crypto here shortly. I promise you that. Now,
This is a record breaking. So we saw something today that we haven't seen since 2008. You want to take a guess?
what's that?
U.S. mortgage rates rise to 5.9%, the highest since 2008. If you missed our show on Tuesday, we did have a local real estate expert in here and said if you look at the last 25 years, 5.9% is still pretty low. But I don't know. Once you give me a prime ribeye, you can't just be giving me USDA choice. See me also put a 1 in the chat if you can't see Robin, which is also a very good thing. So we did upgrade some of our internet equipment here. Also, big thanks to Jimmy. Jimmy spent some time with us over the last week or so, helping us figure out our connection issues. So we've upgraded some equipment. So today is the day we introduced our network switch. That's probably why the internet something happened. But anyways, we're back. Robin,
what's up? Yeah, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a pullback in crypto.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a pullback in the crypto market in general. I think we are going to have lower lows. The only thing is it's like, when is the bottom going to come in? Could have already dropped in, but I still think, regardless, even if the bottom's not in, I do think we're going to be testing this zone. I just don't see us breaking out of 20K. Do you see us breaking out of 20K?
To the upside?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now apparently, the betting people are saying there's like a 80% chance we see another 75 basis point rate hike.
I think that's what's coming. Yeah.
Now, Jerome Powell did speak at the Cato conference. I didn't have enough time to really dig into that, but our guest today did. I'm curious what he got out of it and what we should expect. Also, something that I'm going to keep an eye on is a euro dollar. I've talked about this all the time. It essentially foreshadows what the Fed's going to do. And so it's, I don't want to say 100%, but pretty spot on as to interpreting what the Fed's going to do based off of rate changes, based off of how the market is trading, based off of words and everything else. So, all right, Robin, take us into the Market Watch.
All right, so taking a quick overview on the markets here. We are looking at Bitcoin $18,222.51, which, as we said, just a little bit of a rally. So, can I get a bull sound? The bull market's back.
The bull market is not back. What the
19,200. Yeah, so I think this is just a normal little bounce from the drop we had.
Bitcoin dominance just keeps dropping.
And
Look,
where are we at?
Bitcoin dominance dropped 0.4. ETH went up 0.4.
Those days of 50% Bitcoin dominance in the bear market, no longer. I think just simply you have enough of the what is it? Got my words here. You got enough altcoin dominance as far as the space is innovating, NFTs, DeFi, and you know what? Bitcoin just isn't as sexy as the altcoins. The things that you can do with
think there's a big
the emerging
narrative shift?
space, the technology, and Bitcoin just hasn't evolved. The software hasn't upgraded, and the functionality of Bitcoin itself at the base layer. I know you have the layer 2s, but at the base layer, it hasn't really moved. It is what it is, and that's a good thing. It's a store of value, and I don't, with change comes volatility and potential for problems and risks. So,
what do you think what do you think the Bitcoin maxis? What do you think they would do? And I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say when Ethereum flips Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin now be a shitcoin?
What? No.
It won't be number one, right?
No,
Everything outside of Bitcoin is a shitcoin, apparently.
But the thing is, with Bitcoin maxis, they think that Bitcoin basically can do everything that the entire crypto space is trying to do. They're like, well, we got the Lightning Network, you can transact, it's going to replace the fiat system. And then it seems, it's like, stay in your lane, man. Like, we love Bitcoin here. I'm all about Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, like, hey, like, that's my savings account, right? That's my my safe haven long-term retirement. And so for me, that's what it is. But if I want to invest in DeFi and I want to go into the NFT sector and I want to be excited about all the possibilities that you get with crypto, and especially in the metaverse and gaming, because I'm a big gamer, then yeah. All right. Anyways,
I don't want to. When we were in Atlanta, we ran into an absolute gem of crypto knowledge, excitement, and someone who, when I looked at his trading setup, his charts, this dude had like 18 computers, 15 different charts, and me being the TA guy I am, I think I might have spent a little too much time in that room with this gentleman versus going and checking out the rest of the production. And so when we got to talking to him, the amount of knowledge this young man has, and working for the largest network as far as cryptocurrency goes, we're excited to bring him on. So without further ado, let's go ahead
and crypto savant himself,
the savant. And you might have seen him on Around the Blockchain. And my guess is you will see him a lot more on TV, Mr. AJ Pleasanton. What is going on, my man? How you doing?
Dude, what's going on? I'm so glad to be here.
What are you doing with my
it
shirt,
was
dude?
really thank you. I bought
I'm
it
just
from
kidding.
you
I'm
guys.
kidding. I'm kidding. I know.
It's literally it was made for me. It fits
it?
me like perfectly.
Are you
I
a
just can't ever
DJ?
dry it.
All right, so I got
Yeah.
a very important question for you, okay?
Okay.
Barbecue chicken pizza, yes or no?
Hell yeah.
My dude.
Oh,
I knew
man.
it.
Hell
I knew
Hell
it.
yeah.
Listen, I learned one thing.
Do you go to the dentist more often than David does? Because the barbecue chicken pizza is not doing him well.
No one
I'm saying.
goes to the dentist more than I do. You leave that alone. I got a claim to number one in one area of my life. You leave that alone, damn it. You know, it's
All right.
something with technicians and chart people. We like playing poker and we like barbecue chicken pizza, right?
Yeah, I
No.
I like to eat barbecue chicken pizza while I play poker.
Oh my god.
This man is my
Jack
hero.
Ray.
You're the
the
one
pizza.
that you invite over for poker night, and all the cards get sticky. And you're just like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Oh man.
That's
So
great.
AJ, what are your thoughts on I know you do charts like all day long. You look at price action, you look at news. I mean, you're a writer for one of the largest channels. What did were you surprised the markets dipped? Are you surprised they didn't dip any lower? What's kind of like your overall sentiment with this recent pullback we had and where we're at today?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. We had a conversation, you and I, Dave, in the kitchen here at BitBoy Crypto, and we talked about if we already saw the bottom or is there more downside yet to come. And I think we had like a 50 Doge bet, and my bet was that we have not seen the bottom yet.
We
I know that
that
the
bet is still
Fed-
live.
The bet is still live. 50 Doge.
What is that, like $5?
And I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. Like we know the implications that the Fed is still in. They are really in a sticky situation. You know, they're trying to restore the value of the dollar and not put us in a recession. And I feel like they have already failed that epically. We know that we have abandoned the notion of a soft landing. That's not in the cards anymore. Coming up on the 20th at the next Fed meeting, Jerome Powell said today when he spoke with the Q&A at the Cato conference.
Well, go ahead and expand on that, because I mentioned that in the beginning of the show. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing.
yeah, I watched it this morning.
You did?
Yeah,
So
he still kind of threw the shade as before, but not as heavy as the Jackson Hole.
What'd you take away from
Well,
it, AJ?
normally every time Jerome Powell speaks into a microphone, the markets dump, and that didn't happen today. So that's a win. That's a win for us. Basically, he has to keep his hawkish approach against inflation. There's no way around it. We have to be selfish and raise the interest rates, but it's just kind of it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because the bond market suffers, and all the bonds that the government bought to fund all their own stuff, they can't sell because the interest rate is too high. So they're just kind of stuck no matter what, but they have to keep raising the interest rates because it's one of the few powers they have to restore power in the dollar. So basically, like, we know that coming up on the 20th, we're probably going to see 75 points again. Is that baked into the prices yet? I am not totally sure. If I want to switch to my chart really quick here, looking at Bitcoin, as you can see up top here, there's that triangle we were in, and 68% of the time we break down out of that. I was keeping a close eye on that, and I had some shorts set up on some altcoins for when we broke down out of the triangle, and sure enough, we did. And so here we are. In the aftermath of that, let me zoom in here to like maybe say the 15-minute chart, and we are kind of in this descending channel, and basically we have to wait for the market to give us a signal here if we're going to stay inside of this price action or if we are going to break up or down out of this. Even if we broke,
that to me kind of that to
Go
me
ahead.
kind of looks like a bull flag, huh? A move to the upside in a falling channel.
No, yeah, for sure. You could totally consider this a bull flag. And here on Market Cipher, if you can see my little paintbrush, we do have the Market Cipher version of bullish divergence right down there. So this very well could break up and out of here. Anything that we do for now is temporary and remains to be seen into the 20th. I'm kind of waiting the next, week or so to see what the next rate hike does to the price action. I mean, if we can come, didn't mean to draw that one there, wrong thing. If we can come, up back to this area here and get our way out of this and crawl back into the 20s, that would be all good and well. But we know what the interest hikes do to the market. And I am actually in a short right now called Optimism. I really like trading Optimism. Let me actually see where we're doing that right now, because when
Is
we
that
started breaking
is that one of the trades you're in right now?
That is the only trade I'm in right now.
Okay.
And yeah, we have popped up a little bit here. I got in at 175. We're at 155. Yeah, on 5x leverage. So let me see. Let's do a little check in on the trade here.
Now, was this
Little
trade, the trade you put in, was this solely based on charts and technicals, or were there other factors that kind of went into why you decided to get into this trade?
Well, hold on. I just accidentally went out of that chart. Yeah, so basically, I was watching it yesterday. Here, let me get my little arrow here. So I was watching this coin yesterday. Right here, it went long all day yesterday, and I kind of sat on the sideline kicking myself I didn't get in it. And then today, late last night after the softball game that the BitBoy Bombers won, I was looking at this chart again, and then right here we kind of put in this double top, and then when we put this in, I got in the trade around 10:15, and then we put in another a lower high right there, and that is where I got in the trade. And basically now, if this wants to turn around and continue down, that would all be good and well. Right now, because of leverage, I'm up 8%, which isn't bad, can't complain. So yeah, it's just kind of like a monitor the situation thing, manage the trade, set a stop loss, so I win at least a little bit no matter what. If I even just win 3.5-4%, that's a good to me. A win's a win. You learn that in the poker
I think
world.
I think what you're doing is a great example of, a lot of people say, well, losing money in the bear market. You can make money in the bear market. You just have to either watch and follow the right people, or understand charts and kind of take some time to teach yourself.
It definitely requires a higher understanding of the market. It kind of drives me crazy, like when I watch like normal television and Jim Cramer just equates normal downward price action with a bad thing, and it's not always a bad thing. I mean, a bear market is an upside down bull run if you know how to short. So I feel bad for all the people that like kind of lose everything they have in a bear market and stuff, when I like just made 60% on this like random trade or something. I'm just like, guys, you can do this. Like, trust me, if I can make money in crypto, if I can ascend up the ladder in the world of crypto, I think anyone can do it if they really want it that bad. This is a matter of will. This is a matter. It's like like when you go to like class, like the college or whatever, like are you going to sit in the back of the class and talk to the pretty girl, or are you gonna like do your homework? And I feel like the kids that do their homework, they're the cool
what
kids
I'm
now.
doing, bro. I'm gonna be in the back like
Robin sat in the middle and then did absolutely nothing. Rob, we
speaking of high school, I was actually a homecoming king class of 2002.
Here he goes.
Yeah, so one of my greatest achievements. Just throwing that out there. No, you bring up a good point. I want to expand on what you're saying as far as that you can get into the market and trade even without too much with experience, as long as you have time to do the research and maybe just learn the fundamentals and the basics. The biggest thing I take away when it comes to investing and trading, or at least trading on even the short or the medium term, is to understand the sentiment of the market and the human psyche that goes into putting in trades. There is tons of books. If you're going to pick up some reads on charting and diagrams and all these different patterns, pick one up on human patterns, on human psychology.
Yeah.
And that same mentality that, that same thing that where you're at work and then all of a sudden everybody around you is talking about Shiba Inu and there's people like that is, a typical pattern that you can identify in people and personalities, and you can even and I identify it in myself, and I'm sure you identify it in yourself as well. And so just know that zooming out and looking at charts can sometimes put a different perspective from what the narrative is. And there might be a lot of hype and FOMO, but something you go and look at the chart, you're like, man, this is way overbought. There's so much there's going to be due for a pullback or correction, and so. That's one of my pieces of advice if you're new into trading. So,
one day at a time. I have I have a lot of people I grew up with and stuff that now know that I'm in the crypto space and I write for BitBoy and stuff like that. So I get a lot of questions, and the one thing I say is take it slow. You're not in a hurry. You've been where you're at your whole life, so there's no point in trying to get into this crazy 20x leverage trade and just get wrecked. The slower you take it, it's okay. Phemex has a test net where you can test trade for fun without losing anything, and you can just see what you would do if you had X amount of dollars or whatever. Or if what I tell people, especially if they don't have a big bag, is if you do a $200 trade, pretend that it's a $20,000 trade and see what would happen. And just use those smaller increments and kind of work your way up, and don't bite off too much than you can chew. There's a lot of concepts, there's a lot of indicators, and they all mean something different. And if you just try to binge study it, you're not going to actually learn anything. So it's just take small bites, listen to the right people, surround yourself with the right people. And if if you're focused or not, if when you read a book, if you actually understood it, or if you're just going through the motion. So it's one of those things where, how seriously do you want to take yourself? How seriously do you want to take your future? And how do you want to be perceived by others? And not that matters, but it does, because optics are a big deal, especially in the entertainment game. I kind of feel in the crypto space that there's a lot of really smart people, but there's not that many entertainers. And I kind of think that separates the people that go viral and the people that don't. And I just kind of see that there's a fine line between, basically what I'm trying to get to here is that the cream always rises to the top. And that happens on and off the charts. That happens on and off of YouTube. And the point here is that the more seriously you take yourself, the more seriously you sit down and study. You say, okay, I'm going to get up at 7:30. I'm going to take a shower at 8 o'clock. I'm going to read articles at 9 o'clock. I'm going to do this, and make a schedule, stick to it. Do it every day. Make it a routine. If you're sitting there watching this and you want to level up in crypto, you want to get to that next step, you want to buy that new car or get a new place or whatever, you can do it. But you can't sit around and type negative comments on YouTube. You can't sit around and be negative at all. You have to just focus on yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I like every time, with BitBoy, someone leaves negative.
That sounds all good. That sounds all good, but we know no matter what, people are always going to hate. So,
no matter what. Yeah. Anytime I see a negative comment, I just think to myself, if this person, the amount of time they put into typing this comment, if they just used that time and focused on something productive, they might win a trade. You know what I mean? It's just all perception. It's all psychology. And you're right. Charts are a reflection of psychology. And I just want to see people do the best they can. And, when you're trading crypto, you're trading against the best. You're trading against guys with 15 screens in front of them all day long that never leave that chair. And you're not going to outtrade those guys. You have to outtrade some of the market. And if you can do that, you can win.
And the bots too. Don't forget about the bots, AI.
Oh, and the bots, yeah, definitely.
Speaking of trading and prices, what's the rest of the crypto market looking like?
So just taking a quick look at the crypto bubbles, we got Cosmos is up, OKB as well. But are you a big fan of Cosmos? We brushed over it yesterday. I do think it is the premier layer zero, as they call it. blockchain, I think a little more. I'm more bullish on Cosmos versus Polkadot, and I know I'm probably the only one that it falls into that camp.
No,
No,
I'm with you.
I have a bag of Cosmos. I like Cosmos.
yeah, I just think they've been around for a while, and
Cosmos is solid, man.
well, their roadmap is looking really good, and you know when you see all these bridge hacks, when it comes to connecting one chain to the other. There is no shortage of exploits in those protocols, and Cosmos has had a pretty good run without any big blemishes.
Knock on wood.
And yeah, so
Look at that volume.
I don't know. I'm kind of bullish on Cosmos. I'm coming around to getting into it. I know I was an early investor in Cosmos. I kind of exited most of my position on this one, but I don't know, man. I think this would be a good pickup in the bear market. I think. A lot of upside for that one. What's your vibe on Cosmos? You a big? I know you said you have a little bit, but
Me or Dave?
You, AJ.
Oh yeah, I got a bag of Cosmos. You know, I traded it last year in the bull run. It wasn't a coin that I was really focused on last bull run. The coins I did the best on were like Engine. I found this little crazy small altcoin on KuCoin called BPro. And I ripped it on BPro. I'm talking like 163% in like a week kind of trade. And I didn't even have leverage on that. Was before I even really got into trading leverage. But yeah, last year it was Engine, it was BPro, it was a little bit of Cardano, a little bit of Ethereum. I know I'm missing a couple right now just because the coins I'm thinking about the coins I'm focused on now, and those weren't the coins I was trading last year. So it's just kind of Cosmos was one of those coins that like last year, like you thought it was going to do so much more than it did, and you kind of got bored if you held it for too long last year. But this year, I just kind of feel like there's a new vibe around the community. There's like something's different because it's pumping better. Like it makes more sudden jumps up, those quick 5-7% runs. And yeah, I don't have like the biggest bag in the world of Cosmos, but I definitely have some. It's one you want to have if you want to diversify.
definitely disappointed compared to some of the other top projects going into the last bull run. I think you could even put Chainlink kind of in that same category. Fundamentals are good, but you know, at the early onset of 2020, looking forward, it didn't go quite as parabolic as some of the other ones. But at that, you know, and I look at that and I'm like, man, you know, the potential for those projects, you know, Chainlink, Cosmos as two examples, and even Polkadot, you can throw that in there as well. They didn't get quite as parabolic run, and I think that next bull run might those projects I listed might shine. I just don't see them fading away. I don't see Cosmos fading away. I don't see Polkadot fading away, and I don't see what was the last one I said? Anyways. But
I just find it crazy that Polkadot's in that like $7 to $8 range. It's like, what are you doing? Like this coin is supposed to be between like $50 and $60. So every time I see a $7 Polkadot, I just want to like go to my bank and take everything out and put it all in Polkadot. But I'm not actually going to do that. But every time I see a $7 dot, I'm like, damn, that's a good buy. But yeah, I really like right now. I'm really like an optimism, like long term, like that pump it had earlier a couple months ago or weeks ago, whatever. That will happen again. That coin has a lot of eyes on it. I really like Matic, like any of the layer twos are just on top. If
what about
tomorrow,
Arbitrum?
I'm going to do a video for BitBoy Crypto. I'm going to do the portfolio review since Ben is in Alaska. So tomorrow night, check that out on BitBoy Crypto. I will be doing that. We'll be talking about ISO 20022 coins and a portfolio that we're doing with ISO coins. And I would rather just have Algorand. That's my position on that.
Yeah, I know you're a big Algorand guy.
So some breaking news. I know we kind of brushed over it, but yeah, the Queen of England passed away today.
Yeah, the Queen did. I did want to say that when I first got on, but I didn't want to be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? The Queen's dead." That wouldn't be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she lived a long life. Was 96, 98?
Yeah, 96.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like at some point, I mean, I don't want to live till I'm 100. At some point, you got to call it a day. Call it a life.
Well, if you live like a queen, I guess you can.
Yeah, but I heard
if you
barbecue
work-
chicken pizza extend your life.
Yeah.
All that corn syrup.
Well, there's
bro,
a
get
bunch
outta
of science. What is that one science thing called? It's blanking in my mind. Like crispid,
CrossFit?
like redo your dream. Like it's like gene therapy, and it keeps you
Oh,
young
yeah.
forever.
Robin needs some gene therapy for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Robin, what's going on in the traditional markets today?
All right. We did have the Jerome Powell basically interview press conference, I guess, not the official one, but so green in the markets, NASDAQ up slightly. So the markets are pretty stable. We do have the inflation numbers coming out next week. And then the next meeting for the Fed rate hike will be here, the 22nd, I think it is.
The rate hike?
21st. So the 21st is the next Fed meeting. We had the meeting today for the European Central Bank. And in case you're wondering here,
And also, good news on the traditional side, the Dixie is down, which is good.
Hooray!
Yeah.
so here
That's
we have
good.
the ECB hikes interest rates by 0.75 basis points. Now, the European Union has been pretty stagnant on raising interest rates. They're at zero for a long time. They just had their first interest rate hike of 0.25 their last session. So, you know, they are facing inflation numbers that that Michael Saylor pokes fun at in South America. 15% is on the table for inflation. And you never know, man, if this energy crisis expands out and it reaches more than just the households and it reaches the infrastructure, you could see maybe 20% inflation. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not far off from the 15 to 17% that the central banks and the European Union are forecasting. So
Here's the thing, though. Is the way it works in the EU is they stockpile all their natural gas during the summer and then they sell them off during the winter. Well, they had to essentially pay triple for the natural gasoline, and they're at the stockpile levels they need to be at to get through the winter. So that's fine. No one's gonna freeze, but people are gonna have to pay 4 or 5 times the amount of money for this natural gas, and so. What people are saying is the EU, the central bank, is going to have to print a crap load of money to be able to make up for this difference. Now, on one end, they're raising interest rates. On the other end, they're printing money. So will inflation even, is it even worth doing an interest rate hike? I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, it just kind of goes to show that anytime people are given the power of, if they have the option to turn on a money printer, they do it. And that's just the way it works. I mean, inflation is a problem here in America, but this just goes to show that it is a global issue. It's not just an American problem. And like the thing with the Eurozone and all that is like, they prided themselves on being a zero interest like unit for a long, long time. Like earlier this year was like the first time they ever raised interest rates in 20 years, 10 years, something like that. Like they prided themselves on never raising interest. So now to see them doing hikes and wanting to turn the money printer on in the back at the same time, it just goes to show like people like kind of all like, woe is me about America. But it's a problem everywhere. Like everyone's dealing, and like with the energy crisis and the war in Ukraine, there's just so many factors. It's like, the fact that like I kind of feel bad that I'm so focused on just like crypto and like the economy and stuff when there's like all these people out there that are struggling. It's just like, damn, man, it's tough out there.
What's crazy is that now that we I have exposure in crypto. Before 7 years ago, before I had any idea, I didn't understand how monetary system worked. I didn't understand how politics manipulated the fiat system, and basically, you want to get reelected, you have a problem, you just throw money at it in the form of printing. And I had a buddy here in studio, just kind of hanging out, and he's all like, "Well, he's like, where's Bitcoin get its value?" And and at the same time, I posed the exact same question back. I'm like, "Where's the dollar get its value?" It's what it trades for. It's what a tank of gas costs with dollars. It's what food costs with dollars, and that system right there is broken. And you're seeing an inflation that is not only inflation is they're supposed to put inflation at 2%. That's the target goal. And the sad thing is that 2% inflation is just enough to where you don't notice it year by year, and that it just slowly bleeds you out. And the thing that pisses me off is that people just believe that the value is set by the federal government. Well, the value is broken by the federal government, and crypto and Bitcoin, that or any circulating crypto that doesn't have that can't be manipulated as far as the circulating supply doesn't share those attributes, and politicians can't come in and push their agenda so they can get reelected. And so I don't know, that's just something I can never get past that, man. Is the people that are so stubborn. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like, you're like the person in the Matrix. I'm like, you don't want to take the pill, and because you sit here and say that you got a great job, and I'm like, but the job ain't real. The job ain't real. You love your job, but it's not a real job. And so it's this illusion of the right monetary system that is in your best interest, and it's not in your best interest. It's in the politician's best interest to get reelected.
Yeah, and this kind of idea like circles back to the CBDC conversation, because you're right, like with Bitcoin, like there is a fixed amount, and they can't turn on a Bitcoin money printer. It doesn't work like that. But what they can do is control the stable coins, because if they control the stable coins, like we can't move in and out or go long and short with unless if they control the stable coins, they know everything we do. And like Jerome Powell said today at the Cato meeting, that privacy is like the biggest deal ever to them, and they don't want to know like every transaction that we make and stuff like that. And at the same time, it's just like I just want to call BS on that. You know what I mean? And even like I read an article on Finbold this morning that the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad kind of feels like CBDCs are like the first domino of an Orwellian nightmare, and that they could program in like a tracking mechanism to the CBDCs, and Big Brother would be watching and all that stuff. So it's kind of just like they don't even know in America if they are going to push a CBDC through yet or not. They said that they're still unsure. They're weighing the pros and cons, but they're just going to sugarcoat it like the most they can. And then like the script is going to flip for our own protection. Believe that. But I'm totally against CBDCs, and the only way I'll get behind it is if the stable coins like Tether and USDC and all that also can coexist with them. If they don't coexist with them, I'm moving to Germany or something. Yeah.
Hey man, you know what, man? I'll take some of that money printer airdrops in the form of a CBDC, as long as I can sell it and go buy my own crap. As long as I can sell your trash SPY token, and I can go out and buy some Bitcoin or
You won't be
whatever.
able to.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
SPY token, bro. That's what
I just want my Doge.
Yeah, we'll see how that bet unfolds. All right, AJ, we're going to let you go. We know you're a busy man. We just wanted to thank you. Man. Thanks for joining us and imparting some of your knowledge with us.
Hey, man, anytime. Great to see you guys again. I'm definitely going to come to Vegas and play some poker with you guys. Sounds like a good time. I will come on anytime you guys want me. I'm around. Stay in touch. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, brother.
Right,
Take
thank
care.
you so much, man.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
You too.
Later, dude.
Take care.
Yeah, later.
You know who he kind of reminds me of? Will Clemente.
Yeah.
Hella young. But
he's excited,
enthusiastic, excited, knowledgeable. That was great.
And then also we got Javier Knickerbocker. Hola! Welcome, Sin City Crypto.
Knickerbocker. So he must be from New York.
Probably. Now, what else we got? We got jump into some
You
articles.
got anything else on the Market Watch, or are we moving on?
No, that's all I got.
That's all you got? Well, let's go ahead and get into some of the biggest news of the day. And this was in the title, the description, the everything, the tags. This was in Robin's head and my head. The White House officially releases their report. Now, again, back in March, Joseph Robin Biden said, hey, everyone, I need you to report back to me about how we can integrate blockchain and crypto. So the Fed released their paper, and the White House has released theirs. This is sourced from both the Block and Finbold. They are urging the use of clean energy by miners, Mining restrictions are on the table if said miners don't convert to more renewable energy. And they are asking the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, to help set up guidelines. I dropped the quote in here from the White House. Depending on the energy intensity of the technology used, crypto assets could hinder broader efforts to achieve net zero carbon pollution consistent with U.S. climate commitments and goals. A couple charts. So these were sourced directly from the White House report. On the left, you have the amount of energy that is being used. Okay, so it's got Bitcoin, ETH, Cardano, Solana, Doge, so on and so forth. You can see the market cap, the consensus mechanism, the date that these numbers were taken, and then, of course, the terawatt per hour per year. Bitcoin, one report came in at 88 terawatts, one came in at 144. On Ethereum, you have 93.9 and then 22, but we know that's going to change with the move to proof of stake. And I'll kind of leave this up here for you guys to take a look at. Obviously, Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot being proof of stake, going to have much, much lower. And Tezos looks like comes in at the lowest. Are you it's kind of off the topic here. Are you a Tezos fan?
Yeah, I like Tezos.
Very.
We did a deep dive, and I don't know. I gotta look back into it.
Yeah. Now, on the right-hand side, you will see CO2 emissions. So this is by date. And if you just focus towards the middle, it takes Bitcoin from 2016, 2017, all the way through 2022. And you can see the rise in the amount of CO2 emissions in Bitcoin going from 22 to 24, did drop in 2019, but went back up to 65, and it's currently sitting at 110. This is an issue the White House has. Not trying to dig too much into politics, but we know that the left side of the aisle tends to focus a little more on climate change. So this is a big deal to them. This is why everyone's so excited about ETH going to proof of stake and reducing their energy usage by 99.95%. Rob, are you worried that if these miners don't go the renewable, the gas flaring route fast enough, that there could be some hindrance in their mining operation?
So unless the Bitcoin network, which won't happen, goes 100% green and that only renewables are being used, then these numbers can always be used against you, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere on this chart that gives a percentage of green energy versus dirty or greenhouse emitting gas energy. So you get to this point where this number, if you look at the chart, the number grows exponentially, and it is a parabolic rise. And we've said it before here. And if you're a Bitcoin maxi, or even if you're just passionate about crypto and you're long on Bitcoin, not to discount Bitcoin's network, but at some point it'll be a problem. And right now it might be 0.01% of the global energy consumption, or 0.001, whatever number they want to throw on there. That can be debatable. But the fact of the matter is that if this grew by a factor, I'm looking here, it grew by a factor of 10 in 4 years. 5 years. 4.5, 5 years. Grew by a factor of 10. If it were to grow by a factor of 10 in the next 4 to 5 years, and then another factor of 10, which would be a factor of
that's not going to happen.
100.
That's not going to happen.
Why not?
That is not going to happen because miners are already moving away from just regular coal mine.
It doesn't matter what energy source. I'm saying the energy usage, plain and simple.
Okay,
how much
energy? You're not
energy?
talking about CO2.
I'm not talking about CO2.
Gotcha.
The amount of energy increases by a factor of 10. If the percentage is still the same, say you 40% is green energy, 60% dirty energy, or 60% dirty, whatever. If that increases by a factor of 10 as well. People are not building green energy for Bitcoin on the scale level that this is growing. People are not building hydroelectric dams for Bitcoin. They're using untapped energy that would essentially be wasted. But what I'm saying is that the energy consumption itself, whether or not it's a green or whatever, that is growing exponentially. And at some point, would it not be better to build a wind turbine and put it in a city to power the city, or to put it on Bitcoin? I'm just saying, like, if you could only build, say a company's building 1,000 wind turbines every year, it's kind of dumb that 400 of them will go to Bitcoin.
That's not, it depends. It depends what purpose at that time, what utility and purpose is Bitcoin serving. Is it the world reserve currency? Is it what people are using to buy and sell goods? If that's the case, then yeah, you can argue that it would be worth it for Bitcoin. You can't?
I think eating up the world's percentage of green energy to power this on a exponentially larger scale than it already is, when you have proof of stake that works just as fine, like I don't understand why do you have to take all the innovation in energy and then just take a big ass chunk of it and send it to Bitcoin? I see what you're saying. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth taking the green energy from cities and other areas? Is it worth taking all those resources and,
but here's the thing, Robin,
and dropping it into Bitcoin?
The miners have already uncovered multiple different ways of A, helping the environment, and B, taking energy from places that it was either going to waste or it wasn't even there.
But when it
that would have never happened if Bitcoin would have never been here.
It increases by a factor of 100.
Think about all the methane. Think about all the methane gas that comes from these landfills. Think about all the methane gas that gets seeped into the air, and these miners.
Think about all the coal power plants that are still turned on because they would have went out of business, but a Bitcoin mining farm is like, hey, we'll use you. And I'm sorry, dude. It's just inefficient. The proof of work consensus that is growing by a factor of 10 every 4 to 5 years, for me, just seems irresponsible. And maybe right now it's fine, but I'm sorry if you're like, hey man, let's take 20% of the energy in the world in 20 years, and we'll use it to do proof of work mining on Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if it's green or not. Like, why are you wasting so much energy and infrastructure off the grid to supply it?
Where would that energy go? Who is suffering from energy right now that Bitcoin's taking?
Okay. In your example, wasted energy. Sure. There's only so much wasted energy. And you do realize that
there is plenty to power the Bitcoin network for the next 100 years.
100 years?
Hell yeah. Do you understand how much methane gas comes from just the landfills, bro? Just landfills around the world.
Landfill methane gas is not powering the network. Yeah, that's just a happy story that keeps you smiling.
It's not a happy story.
It is.
Fact.
You're like, hey, no.
It is
the
fact.
real
They're
power.
Not harvesting it now, but they will.
The real power comes from power plants. These big ass miners, they're getting their power from big ass sources, and a little flare gas is not powering these giant warehouses of Bitcoin rigs. Like, I'm sorry. And then I watched these freaking these documentaries where they go out to this little they do the flaring thing, and they have a little trailer. They have a pickup truck with a trailer, and they open up the doors, and there's like 50 or 60 ASICs in there, and they're like, yeah, we're using flare gas. That ain't the Bitcoin hash rate, bro. I'm sorry. The Bitcoin hash rate is a big ass warehouse that eats up all the energy in the area, bro. You can make the argument that using up giant parts of big ass chunks and percentages of the energy is the smart thing to do because Bitcoin is gold, and like it's outdated software that will never evolve because the miners are too invested in it to vote against a proposal change. And
if there's a proposal change that can bring their overhead,
they're not going to vote on it. They're not going to vote on it.
If it brings their overhead operating costs down, you bet your ass they're going to vote on it. This is an interesting conversation. But we're going to move on from it because we have a lot of other things to talk about. So we are currently now talking about Coinbase. They have thrown their hat in the ring and they are helping to sue the U.S. Department of Treasury. Are they digging themselves a hole? You'll get our opinions here in a second. This is sourced from Finbold. They are funding the lawsuit, which was filed by Ethereum users over the Tornado Cash sanctions. And the basis of this lawsuit is First Amendment rights. This is a quote from the Coinbase General Counsel, Paul Grewal. We came to understand that we had employees relying upon Tornado Cash to protect their transactions and salary information from prying eyes. Ordinary people were suddenly swept up in designations that had no basis in law. Is this a mistake by Coinbase to throw their hat in this ring? Are they going to catch? Is it something like retaliation, so to say? I know we're going to say, "Oh, that's the U.S. government." No, if you piss off the government, bro, you really wanted to, certain people can come after you. Was this a bad move, Robin, or is this good that they're standing up for Tornado Cash?
No, you need somebody with some backing to stand up to the government. And this is one of the largest crypto companies out there, especially here in the U.S. And they can bankroll bankroll a lawsuit. And that's good, man. They're in their own space. The last thing they want is overreach, too much regulation, and too much politics in crypto, because that negatively affects Coinbase. Because the more regulation and the more the government steps in, the more you're going to see Bank of America, traditional institutions facilitating crypto ecosystem in its entirety. Because this Tornado Cash thing is trying to take away the power from the individual. It is taking away your right to bank yourself in a private and secure way. Now, you might not believe in the Tornado Cash's like base clientele and what they use it for, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of software that somebody wrote that people decide to use to transact anonymously. And
it's like the idea of guns, right? Let's ban guns because there's shootings. Well, police officers use guns. The Secret Service uses guns to protect the president. If you're a gun owner, you have guns. It is your Second Amendment right to protect your family. So just because a few people do things with something that's legal, well, we're just gonna ban guns. People drink and drive. We're gonna ban cars. So you're literally punishing a vast majority of people for the actions of others. Now, I would have much rather see them try to come up with some sort of way, like, hey, over a certain amount, maybe we can grab a couple pieces of information, or I don't even know. I'm not in the tech world, and I don't understand like the whole software engineering, this and that, so I can't speak to that or what's possible. But for you to come out and outright ban a code, you banned a code, okay? And so it leads me to my next question. First Amendment right. Do you think this is a case that these ETH users can win based on
it opens a door, because what's next? The ban of Uniswap? I mean, it's realistically, it's the exact same idea. It's a protocol that lives on the internet that somebody created, and now it's decentralized and is doing its own thing. That's what Tornado Cash is.
Can we all agree that it's absolutely egregious that they have freaking they nabbed the guy, the developer?
If people are like, I'm telling you,
they threw the guy in jail.
Yeah, but they never really released what happened. But anyways, yeah, we know what happened. But here's the thing: you have Tornado Cash banned by the government. There is literally no difference in that protocol and Tornado Cash as far as the eyes of the regulator.
Wait, okay, what are you comparing again?
I'm not talking about its utility.
Okay,
Tornado Cash and Uniswap.
Uniswap, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Uniswap, Tornado Cash. As far as how it was created, who runs it, its implementation, it's the same thing.
Well, I mean,
It's
people
just
aren't-
it's a different vending machine. Instead of selling freaking chips, you're selling candy bars. It's literally the same idea. It's a decentralized monetary system, DeFi system that lives on the internet. And Tornado Cash just happens to tumble up addresses. Uniswap just happens to let you swap assets. It's literally the same thing. And so if you don't put a stop,
the same thing.
no, I'm not talking about the utility.
Yeah.
I'm just saying at this core level, you have two protocols that are just codes that move money around. Instead of moving money from me to you publicly, Tornado Cash moves money from me to you and 5 other people anonymously. That's the only difference. And they're both decentralized. They both have founders. They both live on. You get what I'm saying? And so there's nothing stopping you. You know what happens when somebody's like, "Hey, somebody's buying a token." Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, XRP loses a lawsuit with SEC and I guess blacklisted. Even if they did lose a lawsuit, that wouldn't happen. But I'm just hypothetical here. Let's just say that there's a token that you're not allowed to trade, and people start trading it on a DEX like Uniswap. Then the regulators could be like, "Hey, no, you're trading illegal assets that aren't allowed to be traded here. We need to shut it down." And they just shut down Uniswap. And then what happens when they shut down Uniswap? They're like, "Hey, Loopring is the same thing. Let's shut that down. Let's shut down PancakeSwap." They got all the. There's no end to this. And so Coinbase sees this. They see it as an imminent threat to the ecosystem and the ethos that is crypto. And they're being proactive about it. And I don't blame them. If I was in their position, I'd be doing the same thing.
You'd be doing the same thing?
Hell yeah. Be doing the same thing, man. Coinbase sees an imminent threat, which is the US government's regulation and overreach on basic code and free speech. That's all it is.
Which goes, what I said, First Amendment, guys, free speech. All right. I want to move on. I want to move on to this. That wasn't supposed to come in like that, but here we are. An ETH developer saves the entire network of Avalanche. The source from Crypto Briefing. Peter Slagavi released Avalanche vulnerability report recently. This was done back in March of this year. And he had identified a potentially catastrophic bug that could have brought down the entire network of Avalanche. The attacker could have started a new validator node, sent out malicious packets to the other nodes and validators on the network, and instantly would have crashed the entire Avalanche network. What does this say that a developer working for essentially a competitor would go out of their way to write a report, find a bug, and save that competitor's entire network? What does that say about crypto? What does that say about people who are in crypto and their morals? Or do you think, what do you make of this, Rob? Like, literally the entire Avalanche network would have gone down, completely wiped out. And it would have cost less than $200,000 to wipe out $24 billion at the time.
We've seen it before, and you know what? We've seen it in the Ethereum network, and people take a lot of pride in their work. And so, if you look at an ETH developer, he's probably spent hours upon hours, days upon days, and years upon years building his own network, his own blockchain, and removing bugs and vulnerabilities. And so he can relate. And Ethereum, it was earlier this year, had a potential doomsday bug that was in the code that got caught.
That's right.
And patched up before it ever got exploited.
But by another
it was actually a
I don't know the
white hat hacker. They noted they saw it and they reported it, and then
But my point is, okay, do you agree that Avalanche is essentially a direct competitor to Ethereum?
Here it is. So this was in February. A hacker could have printed unlimited Ether, but chose $2 million bug bounty instead. And so, had it been somebody in North Korea that would have found this, that's why I say nothing is for sure. Just imagine what would have happened if this would have been exploited by a North Korean.
How come we
hacker.
never see this on Bitcoin?
Because it's a very basic code. It doesn't have smart contracts and
That is why people
so
are so. That is why the maxis, bro. Because all you hear and see is this chain got scanned and this chain got funds withdrawn, whatever.
It's just the reality of it. When you when you upgrade a complex software to become more complex, that's essentially what these chains are doing. You're taking smart contracts and you're adding more features and more functions and more interoperability and faster throughput, and take all of that creates tons of risk and tons of different vulnerability points. That's why I always push back against the idea of like, well, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't the upgrade here? Like, who cares? You're talking about billions of dollars. You're talking about the backbone to our industry. And if it takes 5 years to roll something out, so be it, bro. It takes multiple years to roll out the next version of Windows. And that thing is hella broken for a few years afterwards. And you got to roll something out and not have it have any issues. You got to roll something massive out without turning it off, and it can't.
Would this have happened in the world of traditional finance?
No.
Hell no.
I mean, it could if you took your time at it.
No, I'm saying, like, would someone from a competitor say, hey, guys, you got something that could literally just ruin your entire company. Here's how to fix it. Here you go. And I'm even going to write a report.
Well, I mean,
on
if you pay somebody.
No, this guy was not paid.
No, I'm just saying, but if you...
He was given one of those really cool white hat NFTs.
Here's the thing, man. You go to work, wherever you work, a lot of times there's somebody that works in the department next to you that isn't associated with you, and you notice a problem and you do the right thing, and you're like, hey, man.
Yeah, but you're working for the same company.
They're all working for crypto. It's the same vision.
See what you did there. You can't do that.
Why not?
It's like saying, they all work for the S&P 500. Amazon employees, Google employees, Apple employees, they all work for the S&P 500.
There are Bitcoin maxis and Ethereum maxis that don't care about anything else but everyone else. But I am agnostic to crypto in its entirety. And I think more people in this population are excited about crypto in its space and want to see the whole thing grow. And I don't think that majority of the people want their own project that they're invested in to moonshot and everything else crash and burn. I think we all want this space to evolve, all of us to make money, all of this to be successful, and then replace the trash ass systems that we have now. I think that's ultimately what the mass of the population wants. But who knows it better than the ETH developers, man? Like, those guys have been at work for so long, and they see another project that's doing it the right way, Avalanche, that they probably have met at conferences and hung out with and been in forums chatting with. And you know what? They probably got tons of respect for one another. And they're like, hey, man, I caught a massive bug in your system. I recognized the vulnerability in ours a long time ago before we fixed it. Identified something similar in yours. I wanted to bring it to your attention. I think that's the stand-up thing to do. I think that's what happens.
I think it's great. I just want to compare it to, would we have seen this in the traditional world? No, we wouldn't have. So this is one of the reasons I love crypto. We're all in this together. All right, let's move on. Hopefully none of you in our community had any money on Voyager. What? Hopefully none of you in the community had any money on Voyager. Because we talked about this before it happened. Huh? Yeah, Luna Classic. I don't like hearing that word. They are set to liquidate their assets at auction. Active discussions are with currently 22 interested parties. Rumored to be one of them is Binance. Rumored to be another one is FTX. And rumored to not be one is Coinbase. I guess they pulled out. Auction will take place on September 13th, and the results will be announced 16 days later on September 29th. There is an estimated $1.3 billion in assets that is set to be auctioned. Robin.
What I'm thinking is, why are you taking other people's money and liquidating it? That's what you're doing. And you're selling it at a discount. So you have Joe Schmo, you got Big Rob, you got David. We all got money in Voyager, as an example. Say we all have one Bitcoin. I have a Bitcoin, you got Bitcoin, and Joe Schmo got a Bitcoin. Now, we got locked out of our accounts. And now Voyager is like, hey, we're going to liquidate all of this and auction it off. Like, they have an owner. Give it back to them.
Yeah, that's what
Right?
Okay, and I'm like, I'll just come out and say I don't know like the details of, all right, it's auctioned off, the person that buys it, what do they do with it? Are they going to give it back? That I'm not sure, but it's like
they're paying for it. So you're got somebody that's they're probably going to pay, I would assume, because of the market value. If it's Bitcoin, you're probably going to get close to the 100% value. So you're not going to be buying Bitcoin for $12,000, for example, because the next exchange will just come in and be like, okay, I'll give you 18,000, and then I'll turn around and sell it right away. So the profit, the margin of difference on the price for Bitcoin and the premium assets are going to be pretty similar to what the market value is. In the same way that is no difference in a Bitcoin miner selling their Bitcoin. They just go to the exchanges like who's going to give me the most money, and it's all going to be pretty similar to what the market value is anyways.
Right.
It's pretty much the same thing here. So you have Voyager. Hey, we got X amount of Bitcoin. How much are you going to give me for it? I'm sure it'll be price comparable to.
I'm just
what
like,
the
dude,
miners
you
get.
got 1.3 billion in assets. Just give it back to the people, man.
Yeah.
And I get it, the whole legal jargon and going through bankruptcy and Chapter 11, but come on, dude.
The thing is, why you gonna? If you're a company, you don't think in that way. You gotta think in that way.
I know.
It's just
I know
like-
that's not how people think. It's frustrating to me that the community that we engage with, a percentage of them has their money, their crypto locked up in Voyager, and instead of Voyager just simply letting you take your assets out,
At least they let people
they-
take their cash.
they are
I guess.
liquidating other people's assets and then taking the money for themselves to go through Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Pigs.
And
Pigs.
it'd be one thing if they lost money and they owed money. It'd be another, and it's another thing of confiscating people's money and then selling it for their own personal.
It's like when you go to a
bankruptcy
pawn shop, right? You pawn something and you give up your collateral. Let's say you give up the title of your car to borrow money. If you pay the money back and you're in good standing, they don't take your car away and sell it. They give your car back. These people on Voyager, they didn't do anything wrong. They had their money there. You decided to be degenerates and lend unsecured half of your freaking funds to one freaking VC firm. And now these people have to pay for it. That's the other thing. I'm like, what are these judges doing? Like, you have Voyager coming in front of you and saying, we want to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Like, judge, have some common decency. Be like, have you tried to pay people back? I'm sure people would have been fine getting paid back a fraction, not a fraction, but a certain percentage of their money during this bear market versus waiting and waiting and waiting for the legal process to play out.
Yeah,
And now we're in the middle of a
good
bull
point.
market, and now they get a fraction of their coins back.
You made a good point. And the reason they halted trading is just because they didn't have enough assets on hand because of mismanagement of funds. A lot of it came from unsecured loan that they gave to Three Arrows Capital. But they just didn't have enough money for everybody to withdraw. There just wasn't enough assets on hand. And so, yeah, I understand the premise behind halting trading because there's not enough liquidity for everybody. There's not enough. You don't have what you say you have for your users. But as you said, just give them like, hey guys, we're halting trading. You wait a couple weeks, and you're like, look, we don't have the assets. Here's 80%.
At least they didn't do what
We messed up.
freaking Celsius did. Those crooks. telling people
Also,
everything's
we
fine
got
and dandy.
Unknown Satoshi new up in the chat. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Also, I believe Bubba.
And then
Bubba
Bubba's,
Hubba.
and Bubba's Crypto 3.0. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. I think Bubba's been here. He just added some extra characters on his name.
He said, highlight that, Rocco, right there. I have about 10K in Voyager. Can I expect a quarter of that back? I wish I would have listened to you guys and removed my funds before it was too late. Look, I would honestly, like, for your sanity's sake, I would consider all that money gone.
Yeah.
Just chalk it up to experience, learn something from it, and just know that you will make that money back plus a lot more on top of it if you just stick with. I'm sure you got that 10 grand by being smart with your money, right? If you have 10 grand to invest, you were smart with your money. You can do it again, my friend. Do it again. We're in the middle of a bear market. Crypto's coming back. There's tons of coins out there. You can put your money in, custody yourself, and come out of this up 100 grand,
But
200
what
grand.
what
off
I
your-
would say, on a lighter note, is that if history says anything, when these exchanges basically go belly up, there is some form of repercussions or some kind of
regulation, should I say it?
no, I was saying that reparations or they pay back in some form of percentage, and so I would expect that you'll get something back. It's gonna fall below what you would like, but as David said, if the amount Gox took 8 years, right?
And it's not even. They don't even
and
have
it's
a plan.
still going on, still pending.
That's what
Still
I'm
got the
saying.
buffering
If
signal.
you just go wash your hands,
Yeah, that's what I would.
and forget about it. 6-7 years from now, you get a check for, I don't know, $2 grand. Oh crap, $2 grand, cool, man.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
there you go.
I could see that. Get a check for $2 grand, $5 grand, something like that. 6 years from now, but it definitely. If there's anything in history will tell you is that you ain't gonna see nothing for a long time. That you could pretty much lock away in the bank. So if it's something you're looking for in the short term, like you're not gonna get nothing in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. At the earliest, would be 3 or 4
I don't
years.
know. With the auction, there's a chance, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
No,
We're not legal experts, so we're not gonna say.
Then we got
yeah, it's gonna happen,
AJ Sewell. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
So a big shout out to my boy HP.
There we go.
Sound advice. I just like to. I'd like to keep it real, people. Just the way I tell my kids how to handle certain situations. It's just such simple and straight to the point advice. I just hey, you made a mistake. Learn from it, man. If you learn from the mistake, it's not a mistake.
At
just an expensive lesson.
the most basic, simple level, you just risk management, and you go from the top exchanges down, the top dexes down, the top cryptos down,
Yeah.
the top staking down. Obviously, least amount of risk, Bitcoin, followed by Ethereum. But as we mentioned, you could have exploits and issues in Ethereum, so there is some risk there, just a lot less than in smaller projects. And the same thing can be said for exchanges. The biggest one, Binance, probably the least amount of risk, and then followed by the other ones. Same thing with Dexes. So moving forward, you should just risk manage, and you have to weigh the potential upside. What was the upside of using Voyager? You get what I'm saying? Like you had a couple tokens you couldn't get somewhere else.
They had their card. You can put your direct deposit.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to look at that and be like, hey, this is a smaller exchange. This is someone that's not quite as dominant as the other people. Is it advantageous for me to use this? Is the potential upside that I get from either a friendly interface, tokens that aren't available elsewhere, is it okay to manage that risk to use this? And then on top of that, hey man, there's clues out there. And if you surround yourself with people that simply repeat what everyone else says and they're all about this moonshot mentality, that's why you gotta diversify your knowledge as well. If you listen to only people that are bullish on Bitcoin, you're only gonna see that positives. Same thing with XRP, with Cardano, with everyone's got their own faults.
And it's okay to disagree with them, just to have two sides to the story.
Yeah. So
Speaking of stories,
I wanna add something else in the
Go
note
ahead.
because it will make sense.
what you're facing.
It's gonna avoid some problem in a week or so. So now with the Ethereum merge,
Yes, I know
there's
where you're
gonna be
going.
an
Go ahead.
airdrop that's gonna come up very soon. Now remember, the exchange, some of the exchange they're gonna give it to you. Some of the exchange they're gonna keep it, so you won't see of them. So again, if you can move your Ethereum, in a cold wallet and in a way that you can get their airdrop. Otherwise, you'll be in the same situation
Here's-
as before.
Here's the thing, too, guys, is you will get multiple airdrops. Some of them might be bugs like malware or spyware, whatever it is. So if you interact with that airdrop, they can have access to your coins. So when you get an airdrop of an ETH fork token, don't touch it. Don't open it. Wait, because people will come out and say, hey, this is a scam. Don't open this one. We checked the contract. It's bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If you don't have the capacity to do that, wait, because there's tons of sleuths on the internet that can do that.
I
for you.
think this proof of work crap is gonna be broken. I don't think it's gonna even. I don't even.
I'm
think
just
it's-
saying, people are going to get airdrop.
But yeah. Well, so
Just be
here's a
careful.
couple things. My personal opinion that the complexity of the smart contracts and all the layers of the ERC20 tokens and all the data that's in all the contracts, all that's going to be duplicated. And unless everyone signs on for this, DApp developers and exchanges, DEXs, if they don't sign up for it as well, basically they don't endorse the product and facilitate transactions, it's dead. And so I think it'll die instantly, my personal opinion. But with that said, could very well be wrong. And there could be some potential value that comes from this airdrop token. What you said makes a lot of sense. What I would do if you get airdropped some Ethereum, proof of work or the old chain or whatever it is, I wouldn't touch it for a while. Let it sit there. And then at that point, once the card, once everything settles,
Yep.
you can find the correct Etherscan website, and then you can go and validate that your tokens are what they're supposed to be, and it's pretty simple. You just type in Etherscan. I'm sure there's going to be a different website for the proof of work. You put it in there, you'll see the contract, you'll see the address in your wallet, and then at that point, you can feel comfortable to move it around at that point.
And
But-
if you're not sure, wait.
yeah,
Wait.
that's what I'm saying. Wait, let all this settle.
Or
And,
honestly-
and if a year from now, the ETH proof of work is worth something, then cool. And in the event, and honestly, in the event that this merge thing breaks, as highly unlikely as it is, the proof of work fork will be worth so much more.
Yeah.
It'll because at that point you'll be like, oh yeah, merge is broken. Let's go back to proof of work. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a chain here. They have all the contracts. It's all there. It's already been working. It never went down. That's the original chain. And then
Here's-
that in that scenario would be gold.
Especially if
As
you
highly unlikely as that is,
Yeah.
it is a
Here's-
possibility.
And here's another thing, if you want to be extra safe, is if you have multiple hardware wallets, let's just say you do get the airdrop into, let's say you have a ledger, which if you don't and you want to buy one, just use our affiliate link. We do make a little money on it, help pay our bills here. If you do have multiple ones, let's say you do get airdrop multiple ETH fork tokens, you can send out all your crypto in that hardware wallet that received those airdrops into another one. And that way, when you do open one, just in case you do make a mistake, there's no other tokens in your hardware wallet that people can extract and take money away from you. So that's another option if you do have those capabilities, something we would recommend.
Yeah, your nest egg. So if you're sitting on say $10,000 worth of Ethereum, since that's the number we've been using lately, and that's kind of like your long-term hodl, don't keep that on an exchange. Just remove it. Because I mean, whatever. Going back to that Voyager discussion we had, what you had there, I'm pretty sure. Unless you were staking it, even if you were staking it, you could have removed that before this went down and kept it on a cold storage. So,
And I want to add one more thing, is especially if you use the MetaMask you know, when you get out of your new coin and network, make sure to wait or to get the right information from a source that is reliable. Okay, otherwise you're gonna end up to, you know, to send to a wrong contract, a wrong token.
Yep.
So don't be scammed.
Also, just to finish up here, we're going to be done. Broke Yoshi brings up a great point. Never, ever, 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 under any circumstance, buy a hardware wallet from a secondary place like
absolutely.
Amazon, eBay. Always, 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 always buy it from the direct website. Double check the website. Use 3 different web browsers. Double check. Make sure it is the correct
make sure
website.
there's no like backslash, crypto at the end
Double
of it.
check, you guys, because what a lot of
Ledger.com / crypto F or something that in case you're not aware of what would happen there, let's just say I can buy a Ledger wallet, I can write down the seed phrase, then I can put it right back in the box,
repackage it up in a
and
fun
then-
and sexy
yeah.
way, and
then I can just mail it to somebody else, and then once they load it up with some
You know, I know
funds.
HPC bought it from Amazon. The only things I want to get is to make sure, even if it's a Trezor approved, is a third party. It can be anybody that has a business account.
yeah, just
And,
to be
what
like,
they do, I just want to tell you how this works. What they do, they get the ledger, they take the C phrase, and then they give you a blank state, and they repackage it, and they send to you like it's new, and then they have the C phrase, and you think you're opening for the first time, you put your funds in there, and now they're gonna withdraw all your money. So just be careful again.
do buy on second parties at your own risk. That'll do it for the show today. Rocco,
Yes, sir.
well, the outro. Friends, family of friends, and friends of family. I messed that up again. We want to thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday. We are super excited to finish off the week tomorrow with our main man, Forrest from Crypto Stackers. Make sure you come join us and bring some friends along with you. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Rocco, we love you guys. We will see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Vegas time. Until then, peace.